All right, Platoon, fall in. It is the Joe and the Jarhead Show. As ever, I am Joe, representing United States Army. With me, as ever, my homie,
Jarhead, representing United States Marine Corps. But I still don't have my artillery pieces on the set, Joe.
I am a failure. I hang my head in shame.
Well, you...
Oh, and while I'm hanging my head in shame, I'm noticing I'm still wearing the little purple heart my daughter stuck on there earlier.
She hearts you.
Oh, good group. That is some strong glue. Good heck. Wow.
Put it on your forehead and keep it there for the rest of the show.
No, I'm going to stick it right here.
And it now became a staple of the bunker.
There we go.
Okay, on the show tonight, we got lots of news coming your way. We got politics just a little bit because nobody really cares about impeachment.
Just a lot bit.
Man, well, if you really want to know about politics, we can talk about it, but it's kind of boring. But then we're going to go on a trip. We're going on a trip? Let's go to like Virginia and China.
Virginia I'll be okay with. China, no.
How about the Middle East? Lots going down.
Been there, not incredibly anxious to go back.
How many times you went over there? 3 times, yeah?
3 times.
Yeah,
Yep.
me too. Dos amigo. No more amigo. Okay.
Okay.
Let's start off with some history.
Some history. So, yeah, well, okay.
And you're going to start in China.
For a history, I will start in China. So, this week in history, 1979, Jimmy Carter and
Best president ever, folks.
Deputy Premier Deng Xiaoping of China signed some really nice accords that really kind of boosted U.S. interaction with China.
I'm sensing sarcasm.
No, that's exactly what it did. It reversed a lot of the opposition that the U.S. had with China, with the People's Republic of China.
Okay.
So, yeah. So you might remember Jimmy Carter for such things as leaving American hostages in Iran for 444 days.
Mm-hmm.
And
thank you for that, Mr. Carter.
Not really, no. No, you can, never mind.
That's why you only lasted 1 term.
Right.
Shouldn't even been there for that.
Nope, not so much. But, yeah, so Deng Xiaoping was...
I'm sorry, that's just the best name ever. Deng it, Ping!
Right. I was going to say dung, but whatever. It's okay.
Oh, even better.
Right? He was kind of poopy. Anyway, so he was actually originally kicked out of Mao's party. He did everything. He joined the party in 1920. He did the Long March with Mao Zedong.
So Mao's party is a communist party, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, big time. And he got kicked out for not being communist enough.
Whoa.
Like he just meteoric rise. And then he got accused of being a capitalist, and they kicked him out, and he went to work in a tractor factory.
Still in China?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then...
that's embarrassing.
Right.
Dang it, Ping!
Right. Right, so when Mao Zedong died, he was brought back into the fold. He was considered rehabilitated. And he rose right back up to the top. He was only a deputy premier, but he often, his word carried more weight than the actual premier of China.
Oh, really?
Which was Guofang at the time, Hua Guofang. So you might remember Deng Xiaoping's handiwork, this miracle of capitalism there in China. Mm-hmm. He was the bad boy behind Tiananmen Square.
What?
So maybe not as capitalist as History.com would have him be portrayed.
So the square where they tanks rolling down
They
on
tanked
the street.
Students, yeah.
Tanked. Yeah, that infamous picture where the guy in the grocery shack standing out in front of tanks.
Yep.
That's almost as popular as the Iwo Jima flag raising,
right.
That freaking picture.
Yep.
So when you say he was behind it,
he gave the order
to roll tanks into that square.
Roll tanks.
Doggone.
Yeah.
That ain't capitalism.
No. Well, to be fair, Nixon opened the door to China. Nixon, essentially shook hands with China, with Mao Zedong, and was like, let's start normalizing relations. And since then, China, it exploded. It opened a whole new markets to them. They started raking in money.
Well, when you got slave labor,
yeah, exactly.
Of course you are.
So, I personally think that was one of the biggest foreign policy mistakes in U.S. history. This is second. No, screw China. Let them starve. Let them frickin' die on the vine. And when their communist crap implodes because they're broke, maybe China will have a shot at a successful future.
Yes. I like that approach. I don't know if I want them to be so gassy as dying on the vine, but they've got to learn their lesson, right? That they can't be treating their own people that way.
I meant the government.
But the way that we do business with them, it's like we're turning a blind eye to their slave labor. That is still a thing over there in China, and we're going to talk about that.
Do you think they could have bought so much of our debt if we hadn't opened the door to them? Like, they own a significant chunk of U.S. foreign debt.
They own more than any other country. Mm-hmm. So,
scary stuff. Where they got that money? Oh, we unfroze their accounts. Yeah, that was us. Thank you, Nixon. Thank you, Carter.
Thanks, Nixon and Carter. Sarcasm still come.
Heavy on the sarcasm.
Okay.
All right, where are we going?
Let's talk some politics. Trump's impeachment is now in the Senate.
Yay.
And it's going just as you think it would.
Yeah.
Very boring. Nobody cares. I don't know why this is the only thing on mainstream media.
I love it. I really do. I love it.
You're getting heavier on the sarcasm.
No, I love it. As long as the Senate is locked up with this stupid impeachment nonsense, at least they're not passing more laws on me. You want this to take the next 4 years? I am good with that, Senate. Right. The less you do that affects my life, the less you raise taxes on me, the less government overhead, government freaking overreach you put in my life. You put Trump on trial for the next 4 administrations for all I care. So
now that these impeachment articles are at the Senate, it's run like a regular trial. So there is a judge. It's presided over by the high guy at the Supreme Court.
That would be the Chief Justice?
Yes.
There we go.
Hi, guy. Hi, guy.
He was looking pretty high on TV today.
Oh, my goodness. So there's...
Literally, I've never seen a judge look like, I would really rather be anywhere else than this.
Yeah.
Like, could I be waterboarded instead?
This is where you think he's being just like a high school student, just looking at his phone and his crotch. Yeah, I'm paying attention, I promise.
Absolutely.
So there's lawyers on each side, right? They're still going on with their opening arguments. They haven't even started to call witnesses.
It's been like 7 days now.
I'm surprised you know that. I can't even hang on for
it's
that
nuts.
long. Okay. So the only thing you want to remember about this, the only thing you should care about this is that this is something you want to remember when we go to the polls here pretty soon in November.
Yep.
These are the politicians ruining everything. Next in politics, Warren and Klobuchar. For the first time in history, folks, 2 people got the nod from New York Times.
Really?
Both of them together.
Really?
I love this. This is great. So if you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put the picture up on the screen. If you're just listening on the podcast, you'll just have to pretend. So they said, yes, these 2 women have our approval from the editorial board of the New York Times. However, we love Klobuchar because she's Democrat moderate. We don't really agree with Warren's policies. She's a bit too left for us.
Too left for the New York Times?
She's getting our nomination. We don't agree with her policies. But we got to cover our bases.
Lenin. Like, wow.
Yeah. Woo! It was funny.
Well, I think honestly, if you're gonna strip away the crap and get down to the truth, they realize she is not gonna win, and you're not gonna back a losing horse because you're not gonna back a candidate that proposes spending like 4 times the current U.S. domestic product on healthcare.
Well, not only that, but if we're being truly honest here, they're doing this for strictly gender politics. This is not about the best candidate.
No.
They picked the 2 females on purpose. Somebody knew what they were doing.
Yep.
Okay, last thing for politics. Iowa Caucus. Folks, next week, February 3rd, you believe that? Caucuses and primaries starting next week.
Yay.
And I was feeling the burn, dude.
I will slap you. I will backhand you here on camera.
You're not feeling the burn? Iowa feeling the burn, not me feeling the burn.
Iowa, okay.
State of Iowa.
Okay.
Get with the program, Joe. Iowa. He's leaped over Pete and Joe. So it used to be Joe, then Pete, then Bernie.
No, he has not. He has limped past them. That man has not leaped a day in his life. He's too lazy.
Yeah, but he's beating them like 5, 6, depending on which poll you're looking at. He's beating both of them in all the polls.
Just remember, America, you will get the government you deserve.
And also remember, these caucuses and primaries, your tax dollars is paying for them.
Yep.
So go get involved and vote in them. It's the most wicked thing that our taxes are involved in. You don't have a choice. It is going to the Democrat and Republican Party. Even if you're not a Democrat or Republican, your money is still going to those.
You know what the definition of irony is?
Tell me.
My tax dollars are going to provide armed security for candidates that want to take my guns away.
Good luck with that. This
Wow.
dude's got an armory here, folks.
Small one. I have like squirt guns. I'm serious, man. I lost the rest of them last week in a boating accident.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. I'm just left with my knife hands. What's up? Sorry. Okay. All right, Joe, let's go on a trip.
Bro, I've seen you eat breakfast. Those are 4 cans.
Bacon pickers.
Ah, that was good bacon this
It
morning.
was really good. Okay, we're going on a trip, folks.
Where we
First
going?
up, UK.
All right, what's going on?
The
in UK?
Royal Palace is still up in arms. The breakup is still going on. Nobody's talking about this because stupid impeachment articles.
Megxit?
Yes! Woo-hoo! Good job. So there's no more Duke and no more Duchess of, I'm not going to say the word, Sussex.
Sussex?
Thank you.
Yes. I'm not going to say the word. Then he says the word.
I thought you forgot. I was trying to throw you a bone there.
No, I wasn't going to say it either.
Okay,
but
okay.
You know what? Let's do it.
So they have no more military honors. Well, she didn't, but Prince Harry, is that the right one?
Yes.
Meghan, okay. So he can't go to parades anymore in his uniform or anything with a heavy stack of medals because it was all royalty. So he can't do that anymore, and they can't stay in their Windsor Castle anymore, and they got to pay back the $3.1 billion of taxpayers' money they used to renovate the joint.
$3.1 million?
To renovate the castle.
That's like several times the value of like my neighborhood.
Right, that's our entire Potatoeville here, folks.
Right.
But they will still be dependent on the dividends, whatever you want to call it, the royal money that they receive.
Their
It is
allowance.
tax, yeah. While they're still living in Canada until they can learn to make it on their own.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. But she's already in Canada. She's already set up shop there. Ready to
Good.
go. They can't come to America until Trump leaves.
I dig that. Thank you all for sticking to your guns. Seriously. You are literally the first Trump haters that followed through on a promise to move to Canada.
Yeah. Take the rest of them with you.
Yeah, please.
Everybody on the View. Just
Start
take them
with
all.
Miley Cyrus.
We'll be okay with that. Okay, next up.
What you got?
Middle East. We need to take a trip to the Middle East. I know we've both been there.
No.
But let's go to Jordan and Egypt and Lebanon because for some reason we are about to send $50 billion to those places to invest in Palestinian affairs. Truth, people, I'm not making this up. President Donald Trump released his Middle East plan, which includes $50 billion in our taxes going towards Palestinian investments. Tell me, Joe, you are a historian, you are trained in history. When in the history of America has an investment by our government in anything worked for our benefit? When have we seen that investment roll back on us?
The Panama Canal.
Ah,
That's it. That's all I've got. I can't think of another.
but this is your thing.
Yes. I
History.
honestly, I mean, that's legitimate. Like off the top of my head, that's the only thing I can think of that like we basically built that and it made things better for us. But stuff like this, like when you say Palestinian investments, what are they investing in? Because there's no such thing as Palestine.
Exactly. Thank you for jumping to that point. This bothers me to no end. These people who call themselves Palestinians, there's no longer a Palestine country or peoples. Palestine used to be a beautiful word. It used to include people from a wide variety of cultures, right? It used to include people from all different
It
religions.
was a territory governed by the British after World War I.
Yeah, so
And before that, it was a biblical region.
yes, exactly. But now, the only thing Palestine means is Hamas. It's ruled by Hamas people, which is a terrorist organization
Hezbollah.
funded by Iran. So, and they are in places like Jordan and Egypt and Lebanon too. So this 80-page report that Donald Trump submitted, it's pretty much just recycled garbage from President Clinton days. And all they're
good.
trying to do is...
That was a winner.
all they're trying to do is just like redo the lines on the map in Israel. So you look at a map of Israel, you got like a little circle up here and a little West Bank line down here. Palestine, you can go here and you go here. You're not allowed to go anywhere else. But here's $50 billion. We'll invest in your businesses to help you out.
You know what that goes toward?
Tell me.
Rockets.
To what are they going to do with those rockets?
They're going to fire them at Israeli settlements.
The closest ally we have over there.
Right? That's what they did with Obama's money. The $150 billion in cash we dropped off in pallets.
During the middle of the night.
Used it to buy rockets.
So the best thing about this is that dirty president over there, Abbas, is that how you say it? Abbas, the Palestinian president over there. This guy said 1,000 no's. He will not accept this deal. So he pretty much just turning away $50 billion. That's how smart this guy is.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he was smart, he would take a two-state solution and leave Israel alone, but whatever.
Yeah. To me, the only solution here is to what we were just talking about. There is no Palestine. Stop recognizing Palestine. Give all of that Israel. Just walk away from the situation, I think, until Benjamin Netanyahu, we recognize Israel as your country. We recognize Jerusalem as your capital.
Sweet.
There you go.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah, and we appreciate all your help over there, because when it comes to the Middle East, we ride their coattails a lot. Yes, we have a lot of boots on the ground over there, but Israel does more than anybody else.
They do a lot of the heavy lifting over there.
Yep.
They really do.
And one last thing on this, Jared Kushner is the guy that brokered the deal over there. And I guess he is the best guy to be doing that.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't trust Hunter Biden to do it.
Oh, Joe for the slam! Boom. That was a home run, not a slam there. Boom. Good job.
Well, if there's a guy on every base, it's a grand slam.
Grand slam.
All right.
So Jared Kushner, you remember he's Donald Trump's son-in-law. He's married to Ivanka. Yep. So he's like Donald Trump's right-hand man. He's everywhere. But he is the absolute wrong person, just because he's Donald Trump's son-in-law, to be brokering a deal in the Middle East. I don't get it.
I don't know.
Nonsense.
I just work here, man.
Speaking of working here, tell us about, we got to take a stop on our trip to Virginia. Take us to Virginia.
Virginia. Oh, Virginia. You got the government you deserved.
You voted them in.
You either voted them in, or you did not turn up at the polls to vote them out. And now Democrats control the governor's mansion and both houses of the legislature.
And just to be perfectly clear, when you don't show up to vote, it's the same thing as voting for the opposite party.
It really is. You have to be involved. You cannot be asleep at the wheel, or this happens. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Last week there was a fairly sizable gun rally. Most estimates have it at 22,000 people showing up.
Oh my gosh, white supremacists everywhere.
Right, except for no.
Oh, it's a gun rally. Somebody got shot. Shots fired.
Nope. No. This is not an Antifa rally. So no violence, no arrests, and they left the place cleaner than they found it. And that's out of those 22,000 people, there were 6,000 on Capitol Square, which means they had to pass through metal detectors and they could not be armed in there. Outside the gate are 16,000 armed people. There was a dude walking around with a Barrett heavy, like an anti-materiel rifle. It's a 50 cal.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Dude,
he was the star of the show. He's just getting his picture taken with everybody with his ginormous 50 cal rifle. And it was a great day. I mean, no matter what video footage you look at, it was the model for how a peaceful demonstration for the redress of grievances is supposed to go.
Right. I love watching those little video clips, because you got people with their little hooches set up, their little tents, overhangs, and just a table, handing out pamphlets, letting people know this is what we're concerned about, this is why we think it's a bad deal. And then you got everybody just walking around shaking people's hands.
Yeah.
Hey, good to meet you. Where are you from?
Right.
California, Texans.
Yep.
It was awesome.
That was great. That's good stuff.
Right. That is patriotism. Right there.
So the legislature may have tried to run through a bunch of they are in the process of running through some of the most draconian gun bills I've ever seen. But at this point, 90% of the counties in the state have declared themselves Second Amendment sanctuary zones.
And let me guess, some counties that aren't on board with that are the
ones that make up DC.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Richmond type.
Yep. 91 counties, 15 cities, 30 towns.
Are like Second Amendment sanctuary.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. There's actually already an established Second Amendment free zone. It's between Maine and Hawaii, and I don't know, Montana and, let's say, Texas.
That's a pretty big zone.
It pretty much is. I'll even throw in Alaska. So yeah.
But they do have a couple bills. And now what are the bills they're trying to pass?
They have, I can't even list all the ones they're going through for the gun stuff. It's no person-to-person
Sales.
gun, no person-to-person sales. You can transfer between like you and I could go to the range and I could let you shoot my gun, and I can let my son shoot my gun. But if I want to sell a gun to you, we have to go through a federal firearms license. The gun has to be registered. We have to be registered, and yeah,
Ain't happening.
yeah.
There's a couple more. They were looking at some red flag laws.
Red flag laws. That's in the process. Almost all these have passed committee and are going to the floor for a vote. The governor has already pre-cleared it. Once they pass a vote, he will sign it. It will become law.
You
And
only get the government you deserve, Virginia.
91 counties have said that, yeah, you can go ahead, pass it. I'm not enforcing it.
Yeah, sheriff's there, people there. But that's what bothers me, right? Because all these people are saying, no, we're not going to do it. But you let the politicians run the show.
Right?
And you knew what you were going to get. You knew what they stood for.
Yep. Here's the other thing. This is what wasn't in the news. Because this gun thing, I mean, it was everything the news covered for that entire day. And the day before and the day after. Here's what they didn't cover. These are some other bills that are currently...
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Strap in, folks.
Yeah. So there's Virginia Senate Bill 399. That adds Virginia to the agreement among states to elect the president by national popular vote. So that is whoever across all 50 states has the highest number of popular votes, not electoral votes, popular votes. All of Virginia's electoral votes would go to that person.
Even if Virginia didn't vote for that person.
If Virginia voted for a Republican candidate and a Democrat had more popular votes nationwide, all those Republican voters can kick rocks because all the electoral votes go to that. This is an end run around the constitutional mandate, or a constitutionally prescribed procedure for electing the president.
One of the best freedoms we have is the freedom to vote, to elect people to
golly,
office.
you cannot take that for granted because we are, as far as I know, the only country that has had a peaceful exchange of power on this regular a basis for as long as we have.
So when you talk about this awesome freedom that we have, and you look at like a place like Idaho that's notoriously, or it's usually always red, right? It's always going to lean Republican. So a lot of people would just sit back and be like, I don't need to go. It's always, we're going to win by a landslide, so I don't need to bother going and vote. Get off your butt and go vote.
Absolutely,
that is a freedom too many people have fought and bled for and died for. But in a situation that Joe was talking about, where Virginia is going to take away your vote, it doesn't even matter how you voted, the government is going to swing the vote the way they want to, then it really doesn't matter if you show up to vote or not.
If you go by popular vote, you will never see anyone but a hard left Democrat in any office ever again.
A popular vote means that the entire country will run by the politics of Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. Biggest cities.
Texas.
Houston. Well, Texas is still red for now. It's
purple.
Going purple real quick, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, you look at those three cities that I just talked about. Let's talk about Los Angeles and Chicago. Those, California and Illinois, are mainly red. You'll see a big blue dot right there over LA and San Francisco.
Yep.
Rest of it's red, but those two cities carry the entire state.
Yeah, because they have all the population.
Exactly. And that's exactly what's going to happen to all of America now.
Yep.
With this popular vote.
Yep. They also have SJR 8, which removes, which restores felons' right to vote. And crazy people can vote. You do not have to be...
So Jarhead gets to vote.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So they are allowing convicted felons to vote. They are allowing people who've been adjudicated mentally incompetent to vote.
So people in the crazy house, in the loony bin, get a vote?
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So this one, SJR 14, allows felons the right to vote, even if the governor says they can't.
What?
Yeah, so assuming that a Republican gets back into office at some point, SJR 14, if it's adopted, it says that a person can have his rights restored by the governor or by the General Assembly. So that gives this whole new branch of power to the General Assembly to determine who can vote, which is very bad.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and they're putting out Senate Joint Resolution 6, which is allows the governor to run for a second term. 2 4-year terms. Right now, you can only run for 1. It's like they want good old blackface Newsom to run for a second term. Can you imagine what 8 years of that guy would do?
Newsom's the governor of California.
Or, I'm sorry, Northam.
Yeah.
You meant what I knew.
So, that's no longer... That's like dynasty type stuff. That's
Clinton level politics.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
is this where you're at,
all the stuff
Virginia?
that they're not talking about. This is all stuff after the gun rally, when they're pushing gun stuff hard right now. I've gone back and re-looked at this, and they have put everything behind these anti-gun bills. So all this stuff, they did not do away with the bills. They've just kind of pushed it till next year, when no one's looking. It's not an election year. You can sign your name to whatever you want, and the American public, the Virginia public, will have forgotten all about it by the next election cycle.
Dang. That is some shady stuff right
there.
there.
It is bad, brother. Bad. What do you got?
Last stop on our trip is China. Back to China.
Start with China and with China. Great.
The only reason you want to go to China is if you want to get a little thing called the Kung Flu virus.
The Kung Flu? I like it.
The coronavirus, oh my gosh.
Well, it's a coronavirus because we've already had SARS. We've already had MERS. Both of those were part of the coronavirus strain.
Yeah, so they're all cousins.
Yep.
And SARS, at least, I don't know about the other one, but SARS was born in China as well.
Oh, weird.
So that was back in 2003.
Yep.
Hang on. So SARS, it was a brand new breakout in 2003 in China. Over 8,000 people were infected, 800 dead in 26 countries.
Yep.
Fast forward 17 years, you got your coronavirus that's on the loose. So 1 week ago, as of today, 1 week ago, it was only 100 cases. It was only in China and Taiwan and Vietnam right there. That was it.
That the Chinese state media would own up to.
Yep. So we'll pause that for the end.
Okay, pausing.
So that was it. Just 100 cases, locally contained right there, 3 dead people in 4 countries. 1 week, dude. 7 days. It is now in 16 countries, 4,500 cases. 100 people dead.
Yep.
This is a disease. It started from people handling diseased animals, dead animals. So you go in this Wuhan province where it started at. They have their markets down there, right? So you're walking down the market way looking for some food, and they have live animals or freshly skinned animals. And this is the weirdest thing, dude. They have like bats, dogs, seals, and snakes. So you
like
handle
Navy SEALs?
What's the matter with you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm Army. I'm not a huge fan of the Navy.
Okay. And so that's where it started at, and there's a complete lockdown around the Wuhan province right now.
Well,
Nobody can
get it's the Hubei province. Wuhan is like the major city. It's a city
capital.
of 50 million people.
China, man.
That they've
Packing
locked
in there.
down. Like they have quarantined 50 million people.
That's insane. And how do you do that? The answer is you don't.
You don't.
But they're being very China about it because they have 3 hospitals in that province, and they're trying to build up 2 more. And you look at these pictures, and it's pretty cool. They got, 30, 40 bulldozers out there. But if anybody's going to build up another hospital in a week...
No, they're going to build up a semi-permanent, shoddily put-together structure in the shape of a hospital that probably won't have any power. Because God knows they don't have the medical supplies to deal with the cases they have now.
Well,
so you can build all the hospitals you want, but if it doesn't have any medicine or doctors in it, it's just a freaking building.
yeah, 4 walls and hopefully a concrete floor. We shall see.
Maybe. I don't know.
But at least they have learned from SARS, because last time during the SARS breakout, if you remember, they let nobody in. They said, no, we're going to handle this. We don't want any WHO doctors, the World Health Organization, or anybody else. Now they're letting everybody. So the United States is sending a lot of people, South Korea, Japan, sending a whole horde of doctors over there to help out, to help combat this.
Good.
So this is what's being reported. Those are what we see in the news.
Official Chinese state numbers.
That's what you should see in the news if the stupid freaking impeachment wasn't taking over everything. But,
however, comma space, pause for effect.
There is leaked footage.
Leaked footage. There's a leaked video from a whistleblower, and everything that people put out on social media as regarding this is immediately taken down by the government.
Oh, of course.
So there's a nurse there in Wuhan saying that, like, no, they're saying there's 5,000 plus cases. The reality on the ground is 90,000 cases.
And these pictures, they are deathly scary.
Yep.
You're talking like just stacks of bodies in hospital hallways. Boop.
Yep. And people you need, it's a respiratory infection, so you need oxygen and you need IV fluids. But it's China. So one dude has the oxygen and then 2 people down has the IV fluid. I mean, this is what socialized medicine gets you, folks.
And that's why this leaked footage, at least for me, is very believable, because like the numbers Joe was talking about, a province of 50 million, and you're containing it to 5,000 people in 16 countries. I don't believe you, China. You are hiding some shady stuff.
Yeah. That's what China does.
And that's what you get when you vote in socialism, communism, same thing.
Yep.
That was not a very fun trip. I didn't like going on a trip to China.
I think you'd like it a lot less if we actually went there. I am not about on-location reporting for articles like that.
No, thanks. Okay.
Is that going to do it?
That is our show.
Outstanding.
Joe and Jarhead for the win.
Boom.
Okay.
Hey, thank you all for tuning in. Y'all are awesome. Best audience on the internet. I'll keep saying it. We love you guys. And Platoon dismissed.
Semper Fi. Boom.
Boom.